looks like Noda is going to be your winner of this Portuguese Grand Prix. Is your champion. JJ splits the middle, gets past both drivers. And another week, another round of FRL. Welcome everybody to Split 2, Round 3 here in the Emilia Romagna GP. I am joined by Frydrek, not Sentex this weekend. He had something else come up, so I am joined by Frydrek. Frydrek, how are you doing today?
Yeah, thanks, Brad. I'm fine. I hope everyone's doing fine. I'm very excited to see some action. I've waited the whole week, and I'm very excited for Emilia.
Absolutely. So for those of you who don't know Frydrek is a Aston Martin Split 1 driver, very, very strong driver. He's had strong performances. He's super familiar with this track. Frydrek, do you like Imola? Do you not like Imola? What's your opinions on this track? Because I've heard some mixed things from certain drivers depending on who I've asked.
I like Emilia, personally. I love the looks, and it's a nice track. I enjoy it. I've never actually had a league race in Emilia, so I'm excited to see how it goes here, and then for me in Split 1. But yeah, the overtaking stuff here, so we'll see about that.
Yeah, for sure. Looking at the past two races here, looking at driver standings, JohnMeister in the Williams finished fifth in round one in Mexico. First place last week finds himself at the top of the driver standings. Senor Piotras, I can't talk today, in the Haas is in P2 after a second and third place finish, and then WasserSchwein is in P3 in the Aston Martin. Um, Anyone that you're kind of favoring here in Split 2? I know Spaghetti Mafia is a big crowd favorite, so any drivers or teams you're kind of keeping your eye on?
Yeah, I really hope that Spaghetti Mafia shows finally what he's capable of doing, because he had some really strong performances, but then he DNF'd both races. So I'm excited to see how it will go for him today. And really good, strong performances, consistent. JohnMeister. Um, yeah, these are my two favorites for this race.
Absolutely. Driver that I'm looking at is Buciek. I think he is going to be one to watch as my cat yells because my cat's excited for Buciek, I guess. Buciek currently P4, finished first place in Mexico. DNF'd last week, though, unfortunately, which puts himself in a interesting position. Red Bull currently P4 in Constructors' Championships. Looking at this track specifically, counterclockwise track, any sort of challenging sectors or kind of challenging corners that we should keep our eye on?
Yeah, for me, the most challenging corners are turn 6, where you can very easily go off track and then put gravel and sand into your tires, and then you are done for a few corners. And also turn 12, which is the downhill chicane, and it's very technical and hard there to keep the car stable and steady, at least for me. So these are the two zones that I would look out for the most.
Mm-hmm. Talking about your experience here in FRL, this is your rookie season, so third race in. This weekend will be number 3 for you. How are you feeling with the league? What sort of things have impressed you about FRL, and what's really been kind of the high points, and what have you been enjoying so far?
I love the atmosphere that it's like I wouldn't say family, but you know, everyone's friendly, for me at least. And I heard some things about toxicity, but I don't really see that in FRL, like in a few other leagues that I was in.
Mm.
And I enjoy racing here. It's clean, and sometimes, yeah, you have some tough moments, but yeah, it's good. I really enjoy this league.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're glad to have you here. One thing I do want to mention here while we're waiting on the server to get ready and get going here, Tipove has 8 penalty points and has earned himself a quali ban for this race. He also earned 8 points in split one. So this race and next race, he will have a quali ban that he has to serve. Um, Big thing was he turn one sent it down and was very, very unhappy. The stewards were very unhappy with his decision, and kind of how he drove in the last race. Anything big? Should we watch for anything crazy to come out of this race? Any sort of turn one sins, or do you think penalties are going to be handed out a lot here?
Yeah, I think penalties here are harsh. You can very easily get a penalty for exceeding track limits, especially turn 12. It's very easy to just go off the line 1 centimeter and you get a penalty. And also, yeah, corner one in Imola is very, very tricky because you don't have a lot of space. The track is narrow, and everyone wants to gain a position, so it's tough. And I'm very, very excited to see what split two drivers will do.
Yeah, I think Split 2 has been a really exciting one because even though it's called like the beginner rookie split, a lot of these drivers have really impressed me with how they've been able to drive and perform. It hasn't felt like any sort of a beginner or rookie split to me because this split has been super competitive. It's been super fun to watch. It's been um, very surprising at times with how it's ran. So I've been really enjoying it personally. Are you kind of Split two, has it kind of exceeded your expectations, or is it kind of where you thought it would be? Kind of
Yeah,
how do you feel about the second split?
I was in the second split for the first race in Mexico, and I actually was very, very surprised that the level here is quite high actually because and it's very balanced. You have a lot of drivers in the midfield who are whose pace is very similar, and it's very exciting to see them, you know, battling for the position. There are no boring races. Also, the safety cars, for example, in Spa, it was something else. But I hope Imola will be a bit easier on these safety cars.
Hopefully, what's your safety car number prediction? I know we all did the predictions before the race.
Yeah, I said
Safety car
two.
predictions?
I said two safety cars.
Okay. I'm thinking. I keep going back and forth between two and three. I'm not sure how many we're gonna have, but I I know split two, we tend to have like an extra safety car compared to split one. So split one with Spa was a little bit cleaner. Split two, typically we see like an extra safety car too, a little bit more spins in qualifying. So I'm kind of leaning. I'm gonna say three safety cars, and we'll see what happens here. So, because I think one of the things that will catch some of these drivers is they're gonna push really hard versus like split one drivers know when to come back just a notch. Like they know where that limit is of what they can do with their car, where they can push their car. Where like split two, sometimes they find that limit and they find that limit in a very impressive way by meeting a barrier and losing a tire. So should be interesting to see exactly what comes out of it. I think we're still waiting on a couple of drivers to join in currently before we can get going. It looks like we're missing one team here. I'm not for sure who it is, if anyone. So we are missing a couple of drivers here at this
We are
point.
missing a driver from Alpine and Williams. So
Maybe
yeah,
just
just two drivers.
gotcha. Maybe just network issues. Unfortunately, when you're running online league races in F1 2021, the best game that exists, sometimes you have some network issues. I mean, it's even caught us out here on stream. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. It's the way it is with the game, and it's something we're always going to have to battle with. Something I'll touch on here while we're waiting on these couple drivers to join in. If you're new to FRL, one qualifying session, short quali, 18 minutes. We don't run the full 45-minute quali session, just one 18-minute session, and then 50% race, which here at Imola is going to be 32 laps. Weather often plays a part here in FRL. Last week at Spa, Split 2 got intermediate conditions in qualifying that then ramped up to wet conditions by the end. So those early laps really played the point. Split last season in season 3, we saw what's effectively now split 1 battle weather a lot of times. We saw some amazing finishes in Spain, sorry. We saw an amazing finish in Monaco, where Sentex was able to go the entire race on one set of wets, didn't pit stop, didn't have to do anything, and he finished P1 there on just a single set of wets, which was the most impressive driving I've ever seen personally. Have no idea how he tire managed like that, but he did. And then we've seen just weather play a lot of parts here in FRL. So if we get any rain, it'll be fun to see what happens. Frydrek, what is your predicted strategy here for the race?
Yeah, I talked with JJ and a few other drivers, and me personally. We agree on this thing that you can go soft hard or a soft medium. These are the two preferred strategies. Depends on safety cars and your tire management, skills.
Mm-hmm.
But for example, for the drivers that are starting below bottom 10, maybe medium to softs or even hard to softs. But this is kind of a difficult strategy to pull off. But yeah, I would say soft to hard. It's the safe option that gives you speed at the start, and then you
Mm-hmm.
can push your car consistently through the race.
Yeah, I looking 32 laps with safety cars. I think a lot of drivers are going to try to pull a two stop. We saw some split strategies at Spa last week where some drivers tried to commit to the one stop even through safety cars, and I think they threw away some strategy there or some pit advantages. So I think at least two stops are going to be needed depending on how early or how late we get a safety car, which will be the deciding factor. I think turn 1 is going to be where we kind of see a lot of fun things happen. I think
But
is
yeah, sorry,
no, you're fine.
sorry to cut you in, but I would say that turn one, lap one is a bit too early for me. Usually to change my tires. But yeah, you're right. Two stops are a thing here, especially with this safety cars.
Mhm.
When there will be two safety cars, I think yeah, two stop is realistic. With, for example, softs, medium softs, this is a good strategy here. So
Absolutely.
yeah, let's see.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the strategy will be what makes or breaks this. And it looks like um, Fabian and Lord Zick did not join the session, so those drivers will not be racing this weekend, it appears. And it looks like, in terms of drivers going out, it looks like Crash is going to be the first driver out. And then I believe his teammate Youngies is right in front of him here. So those will be the first drivers to kind of watch to see what laps they go through, opting for softs to start out. Frederick, just kind of talk us through what in qualifying, kind of what's your mindset through quali whenever you go out, especially when you're one of the first drivers to go out. What's your mindset when you're going and putting in these early laps?
So what I like to do is either go on a set of softs or mediums, depends on the track. Here I will go on the mediums first, just to kind of see how's the track. Once again, familiarize myself with the track, and set some delta time just to look at it. Then I would do a push lap on fresh softs, and preferably another push lap at the end of the session. So three runs, and I have a fresh set of softs from quali then for the race. That's
Mhm.
my strategy. And yeah, I try not to push until the last uh, lap, last try.
Yeah,
Then I go 100%.
I got you, because at that point on that last lap, I mean, if you do end up wrecking there at the very end, you've still hopefully got a strong time in, and it won't be too much of a deal. As we see Youngies is here starting his first flying lap here of the session, looking very strong coming through the first chicane, going down into the second chicane to start the second sector. Turn 6 here, the turn that we heard Frydrek say that you really need to watch out for. Coming around, looking very strong. First sector time, I didn't catch it. Yellow flag in sector 3, though, and it looks like that's just drivers going slow, trying to build some space. Traffic always seems to be a problem here in FRL just because of the one shot quality. It seems like traffic always catches people out. Frydrek, is it better to be early with setting your times, or is it better to try to wait near the end and then potentially catch traffic?
It's always a gamble, but I like to drive out as early as I can, uh, and then just see how's the situation on the track. Because in the beginning you always have a traffic jam because everyone is trying to set time. So yeah, I would say as early as I can, I go out, just set this time, and go in and wait.
As we see Youngies comes across here, first lap a 117.3. What? You're the driver here. You're the pro. I know JJ sent me a think like a 114. What is the time that we should be looking for?
113. I'm sure it was 113 even so. From split two, I would say something like a 115 something, at least. Even lower, yeah. So
Okay.
maybe 114s in quali, yeah, that's possible.
So you think we're
I
like
was looking at Spaghetti Mafia and my favorite, and he was a bit wide, but I think it was his outlap. Now he's in turn 6, and I'm just looking what
purple
he's
sector
doing, and
1?
yeah, that's he went very well through that corner. Now he's in turn 8.
Mm-hmm.
He's going now through this downhill chicane, turn 12, that I don't really like. Let's see how he does. Yeah, goes very well through that.
Absolutely looking really strong there. Purple through sector 2 again with a 50.4 so far. So he is really far up. WasserSchwein has a 115.59, and that is currently the fastest time. However, it looks like Spaghetti Mafia, if he can hold on to this, is in a really good spot to try to knock that time down. Coming around the final corner here, we'll see what he does. DRS opening is going to be a drag down the line. Only DRS zone here is in the main straight. He puts in a 115.567, so not much faster than WasserSchwein, but just fast enough to throw himself onto provisional pole. But CHOPPA comes around with a 114.7, so lots of competitive times getting set in early here. As we're going to jump on with Kushor, who is coming around, I believe, on his first flying lap, and he comes through and he purple sector too. So these drivers are continuing to ramp up times as we go through qualifying, and we're only a few minutes in, so we still have 12 minutes to see times improve. A 114.7 though from CHOPPA. Very impressive time so far. Do we think there's more to gain though? I'm sure there is. How much more though is going to be the question.
I don't really know. I know CHOPPA is a very fast driver. He's a reserve driver that will definitely go into split one as soon as possible, from what I heard. But as you can see, his pace is outstanding from the rest of the pack. So let's see how he will do. I'm driving on board with him, and he's
Mm-hmm.
very clean and tidy through all of the corners. So he's measured, yeah. He's going very well.
Absolutely. He put in a 116.0 on that first push lap. So, but still a really comfortable driver. It's very Kushor is one that I'm very impressed with. Just kind of seeing him hang out. CHOPPA puts it a 114.6 now and knocks Spaghetti Mafia back down. Just to add a little bit of insult to injury, Spaghetti Mafia coming around, boxing in, going on a fresh set of tires. So lots of drivers going around. I'm not for sure who's on a push. It looks like JohnMeister might be on a push lap here, though. Coming through, and he gets very loose there at the end of the second sector. I thought he was going to lose it for a second, but he keeps it together coming into the third sector, but that's going to cost him so much time.
Yeah, I think this push lap is abandoned, or maybe it's his first. No, it's not his first lap. So I think he
Mhm.
won't improve very much. He'll have
Yeah,
to go one more time at least. He's the championship leader, so I hope that he has a good result. Yeah, P4 for now for JohnMeister.
For sure. Haas leading the constructors championship right now, and it looks like Yuri is going out on his first outlap that I can see, and then Senor is in the pits now. He set one time to P8. Haas with 3 podiums in 2 races between the 2 drivers. Do you think it's going to be a case of consistency is key for
Yeah,
Haas to hold on
I
to it?
think that's very much true. Um, what we saw from JohnMeister, he was very consistent, and it paid off. And I hope, yeah, everybody needs to be consistent, because if you are fast and spin out, like for example, Spaghetti Mafia, I'll say it because, yeah, you can see that he's fast, he's a fast driver, but he double DNF'd and he has 0 points, even though he's one of the fastest guys here. So consistency is key in Formula 1, definitely.
Absolutely. I remember last season that was something I kept saying. Like, even though you have 1 lap pace, being able to survive the race is a whole nother story, because you can do 1 good flying lap and set yourself on pole. But then if you can't hold that pace for 39 laps, it doesn't make a difference. Or if you can't nail your pit stop strategy, it doesn't make a difference. As we're on board here with Yuri, who is a driver that I think has that consistency and that drive and can really knock his strategy out. He's really impressed me with his first 2 races, coming around here the middle sector, looking very strong. He has his car under control here, looking really good. Doesn't purple the middle sector, but still really strong time around there. And coming into the 3rd sector, the final 2 corners, we'll see exactly what he comes around to place as he comes through. I really like the Haas drivers. I really, really think they look good. He gets a little loose there coming into the next to final corner, but coming around, open up the DRS. He's not going to be the fastest, but he sets a 1:16.4 as he invalidated right there at the end.
He tapped the wall, I think, and he cut the corner there a bit too much. It was a good lap, I think.
For sure.
Good enough for like P8 or something. I didn't watch the
Mm-hmm.
full lap, so.
Yeah, it would have been somewhere around P7, P8, I believe. Jumping here around, I can't tell just with the way there's so many cars out with 8 minutes left, over halfway through this qualifying session. I can't tell if there's drivers that are doing second push laps on a used set of tires, or if they're just recycling new tires. I can't tell exactly what their plans are here, because some drivers have 3 or 4 laps, or 2 or 3 laps on their softs, and then some are out on brand new softs. So do we think drivers are just recycling tire sets here just to try to get a little more comfortable?
Yeah, I think that a fresh set is always a good thing to have, and that's what some of the drivers are doing. Now Spaghetti Mafia finishes his push lap, and let's see how it will go for him.
Let's
He
see.
didn't improve.
He did not improve. And then, let's see. I got to adjust your volume really quick as I'm being told you're not loud enough. So let's see if I can make you a little bit louder. It's not on you, it's on my end. So let's pump that volume up for you. Hopefully that'll be better as we'll jump back here into qualifying now.
Yeah, I'm on board with JohnMeister, who is going out of the pit lane for his outlap.
Mm-hmm.
What's more the action? Let's see. Spaghetti Mafia has his lap invalidated, so he's not pushing.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Let's see here. It looks like
Rash
Kempa.
and Radosław Kempa, that's a very, very impressive lap from him. P2 and P1.
Absolutely.
AlphaTauri 1-2 for now. Very, very strong performance from Radosław Kempa. Also, Crush is now on his lap, I think. Yeah, he's pushing. Oh, he lifted off. He aborted his lap.
Looks like traffic may have gotten in his way. I jumped in a little late there, so I'm not for sure personally. Looking around here, I'm trying to see who is on what as we go. It looks like Kushor is coming across to start a flying lap. We'll jump on board here with the Ferrari driver. Kushor finishing P4 in the first race and then P14 last week in Spa. Just looking through at his first lap, he seemed really strong there in P9. I'm really interested to see where he finishes up and where he goes.
Oh, WasserSchwein, very strong
Woo!
lap also from him. P2. So now He has split the AlphaTauri drivers.
Hmm.
We have only how much time we have till the end of the session? I don't have the time.
We have, I believe it's around 5 minutes. It's blocked for me due to a yellow flag in Sector 3. 5.5 minutes left here in this session. As we see, Kushor comes around there in the middle sector. He gets a little bit loose, but he's still looking really good. Something I know is set up. You have to have a little bit of an oversteery car in order to make this track work really well. A quote from the great JJ in Split 1, the time trial king, as I'm going to call him. We'll see his time trial lap during the post-quali and pre-race session. You'll get to see a flying lap from him that looked really, really good. Kushor coming around. It looks like he aborted this lap. He sure did.
He's going to the pits.
Who is on a flying lap right now? Is Juri out there on a flying lap? Potentially. 5 minutes left. And it looks like a lot of drivers are just kind of relaxing here.
I
5
think
drivers on.
Senor Piotras might be on the lap. Oh
We'll
no,
jump.
he's on the up lap, sorry.
No, you're
He's
good.
on mediums.
Hmm.
That's strange.
Interesting choice from him. Track data is telling me he's on softs. Let's see if we can update it really quick. There we go. That's better updated. So he is jumping on an outlap and flying mediums. I wonder if this is just to see. I wonder if he's just more comfortable on mediums, do you think? Or is this him trying to start farther up for pit strategy?
Yeah, maybe he's confident in his ability to set a time in like top 5 on these mediums, and maybe he'll gain an advantage. Oh, he
Oh!
spun. That's the thing with the mediums. If you're pushing too hard, you'll spin. So it's not very good to push 100% on these tires. Now, does he have enough time to go back and drive one more time?
He probably does, but that set of tires is done for him, I'm sure. Buciek coming around, 3.5 minutes left. Buciek is out on a push lap, just flying through. We'll see what he sets for his second sector time as he comes around turn 12 and he spins it. These drivers aren't holding back at this point. It's like we talked about in the beginning. This last little bit in qualifying, it's all out because at this point, if you have a time and if you lose it, there's not a lot you can do. At least you have a time in here. But unfortunate to see there from Buciek.
Yeah, I'm very, for now, surprised from the Haas drivers. We have Yuri on P12 and Senor Piotras on P14. This is not the performance that I expected from the Haas drivers. Let's hope they will make it up.
Absolutely.
They have
But
2 minutes to 2 minutes 40 seconds. Let's see.
looking at their qualifying performances in previous races, though, I mean, they don't have the strongest qualifying, but they make up for it really well in the race, which is where that consistency I think is going to come in. 2.5 minutes left here, and Gamer is invalidating his lap. We're jumping around here. All these drivers are out on laps. Crash just started his flying lap. He's one I want to jump on board with. Going around, 2 minutes left, and you can see again drivers aren't holding back at this point because it's all or nothing. Either you throw yourself up there or you don't.
Yeah, very clean and tidy run from Crash this first corners. Let's see how he'll do in turn 12. I hope he won't spin. Let's see.
Turn 12 is
turn
going to be
11.
make or break.
Yeah, let's see. Very nicely done. Just on the limit. And now he comes round to turn 14. The chicane,
Purple.
you have to go over the curves. Very nice. Oh, and he invalidated.
After a purple middle sector.
On the exit, this is very mood breaker, I would say, in Emilia. The track limits.
Absolutely. As FISHU comes around, he does improve by a 10th, but isn't able to set a better time there. We'll jump here with Kushor, who's invalidated in the middle sector, so we'll jump off, and we'll jump onto his teammate Welliks, who is coming around here, going down to the finish line, and he is going to be 2 seconds slower. Wonder if he lost something there in the middle, and that was just over for him. I believe Senor is on another push lap, but he is stopped there in the first sector. So that could be over for him. I believe he's giving away. I don't think there's enough time for anyone to set a lap unless you're already on a lap. 50 seconds left here. Owskie has invalidated his lap. Who is out
Is
pushing
on the
right now?
lap. Welliks is on the lap. He just went for it, and he's right now out from. Oh man, I forgot the name. Sorry, I messed up.
You're fine.
He's now coming into turn 10 or 11, and let's see how he'll do. Turn 12 now, Aqua Minerali, and very tidy, a bit safe. I feel like he went through it a bit conserved, just to make a lap. Yeah, let's see. Very nicely done. Out of turn 15, now into turn 16, and he's coming around these two final corners. Technically speaking, it's the 3 final corners, but the last one, it doesn't really count. Now, DRS open and through the line. He didn't improve much, only 200ths of the second, sorry, so he stays P10.
Absolutely. Checkered flag is now dropped on this session, so where you see drivers, this is going to be where they're at unless someone can improve. I see WasserSchwein is out on a lap. He's one of the last drivers that's going to have a lap going. It looks like no other drivers are going to be able to take the line behind him, so WasserSchwein is going to be where it's at here, and we're going to follow him through his lap in its entirety. Coming around through that middle chicane, jumps the curb a little bit and invalidates through, so that means WasserSchwein can't improve past P2, so that is over for him. Spaghetti Mafia is also out on a lap, but his lap isn't going to count either. He's not going to make the checkered flag, so that is going to be over for him. It looks like this is going to be your qualifying session over, so WasserSchwein invalidating there near the end of his lap, throwing it away. He looked like he was on a strong improvement time, but CHOPPA coming out here with a 1:14.6, 4/10 of a second up, placing himself onto P1, and then Kepa into P3. So AlphaTauri starting 1-3 here.
Very nicely done from these two drivers. I'm very surprised for Radosław Kempa and very happy for him. This is some good quality performance. Let's hope for the best for the race for him and for all of other drivers.
Absolutely. Looking here, Haas drivers, Senor is out on a set of mediums, which should be really interesting to watch and see where he goes through. We're going to leave you here for just a second with this JJ time trial lap as we get ready to go through. Frydrek, any final thoughts here on qualifying?
Yeah, I'm just excited to see the race. To be honest, I don't have any more thoughts. I'm just happy to see the racing.
Absolutely. So we're going to leave you with this time trial lap here, and then we will be back as soon as this formation lap begins. Here we go. All right, and here we go. Formation lap starting in, getting everything comfortable here. CHOPPA starting out on P1. I'm really interested to see where he goes through looking at tire strategy. Seniors on mediums. Bis and Topove are going to start on mediums. Everybody else qualified out on softs. Of course, Topove had to serve that quali ban, so he's starting out back in the rear. Pit stop strategy powered by AWS. We're looking at softs hards or soft mediums. Frydrek, which strategy, if either of those, do you think would be better?
If safety car comes out, I would do medium softs, personally, just to have that soft on the end to push very hard and gain some positions. But if we see a race with no safety cars, then ideally the better strategy would be soft hards. Yeah.
So, soft hards, I think, is going to be what most of these drivers look for. Again, depending on safety cars and what happens there. If we get enough safety cars that you can conserve your soft tires for longer, it might be better to go through and do soft mediums. Looking at JohnMeister here in P4, do we think he is going to be able to bring it? Of course, he won last race. Do we think he's going to bring anything competitive, or do we think that...
Yeah, I hope so. He delivered very well last couple of races. Just behind him, Spaghetti Mafia, the crowd favored. So let's see how this will go on. I really don't know. I'm just, it's very hard to tell from these drivers.
Absolutely. And with a name like Spaghetti, you have to understand why he's a crowd favorite. Name like Spaghetti.
Yeah,
I love it. He was, whenever I saw the drivers list come out for Split 2, I saw Spaghetti Mafia, and I was just like, all right, what a name here. Going through here, Red Bull, I think are going to be ones. I'm wearing a Red Bull shirt today, so obviously I'm going to be a Red Bull fan. It looks like drivers are lining up. I believe we're waiting on Bis 2000, who I think is having some connection issues and coming through the middle sector currently. So drivers are going to be sitting on the grid for just a minute as they wait for him to finish his formation lap. Hopefully those connection issues get sorted out here as soon as... Awesome. As he's coming around the final couple of corners, he'll be the last driver to form up here. And we'll jump on and see how this start goes. We're going to start off on board with Spaghetti Mafia for this race start, as it looks like the camera doesn't like me. And it looks like Bis 2000 is coming in, forming on his grid spot. So this is where we're about to start. I hope everyone's excited for this to come through, as I am, because it looks like we're going to have... Everybody getting ready here. And it is going to be 5 red lights, and we are going to be underway here for the Emilia Romagna GP here in Split 2 of FRL, round 3, and it looks like, as far as takeoff, Spaghetti Mafia gets a good one. CHOPPA is having to defend hard from WasserSchwein, who's going to look to the right here, and it looks like Spaghetti Mafia going to dive up the inside here into turn 1. Turn 1 carnage beginning already. Going around. Drivers coming through too wide. It looks like the Haas is going to lose out here. But coming around the first couple of corners, lots of changes there. Juri jumping up into P8. FISHU up into P9 now. Kushor falling down a couple positions. CHOPPA and WasserSchwein are battling it out. And it looks like CHOPPA is going to go a little wide. Lots of drivers losing it wide there, coming into the middle sector, but going around. It looks like CHOPPA is going to hold his place. CHOPPA is still battling it out with WasserSchwein, though. What a strong battle to start out. WasserSchwein losing out on his P2, and CHOPPA securing his place into P2 to put AlphaTauri up at the start, but running wide already, and I'm sure track limits is going to be an issue. Coming into turn 12 for the first time, it looks like drivers are going to be able to hold together. We'll kind of keep our eyes around as these drivers jump through, and it looks like turn 12 takes no victims in the first lap.
Very, very nicely done. First corner and also turn 12 and turn 6. No major collisions. I'm very happy that it went like this. I'm on board now with WasserSchwein. He's catching up to CHOPPA, and I'm very excited to see how they will play this out. CHOPPA has no more ERS for this lap. So yeah, let's see.
Absolutely, looking through here, and CHOPPA is gonna set the pace with a 120.0 first lap through, and we're gonna watch coming around here. WasserSchwein only a half second back from CHOPPA. We only have one DRS zone here in Imola, so passing is gonna be difficult. But if you can get a good run into a corner, it could be possible. As we see JohnMeister having a run here on WasserSchwein going through, and it looks like JohnMeister's going to have the inside that turns to the outside. They're going to get a little close there, almost touch wheel, but JohnMeister is going to take advantage. But WasserSchwein coming back around the outside. He is not done with that position, but he loses out, and it looks like Spaghetti Mafia is going to take advantage of it as well. So coming around here, Spaghetti Mafia up into P4. WasserSchwein losing 2 positions in 1 lap, make it 3 positions in 1 lap as Crash gets around him as well. And it looks like he might lose out to MBuciek there going around turn 12. WasserSchwein having some major handling issues here as we see Crash spins it coming out of turn 12, and that is going to be the first turn 12 victim here as we stay on board. MBuciek and WasserSchwein making a little bit of contact, pushing MBuciek wide. WasserSchwein just having a poor lap too.
Yeah, I think he might have some front wing damage from what I see. He has real trouble turning. So, oh, now he's just slowing down very much.
VSC has been deployed here as it looks like Owski losing out big time, or Gamer 2021 losing out big time in turn 12. Of course, turn 12 taking victims as always. So VSC, nobody taking that early advantage pit stop, but CHOPPA with a 2.6 second lead here already on his teammate, with his teammate stretching out a 1.5 second gap here on JohnMeister. Spaghetti Mafia, though, up into P4 already, so this is early days, but looking very competitive going through. Frydrek, what's your opinion here as we're looking?
Now, actually, Spaghetti Mafia is virtually on P3 because JohnMeister has a drive-through for speeding under VSC. So if he serves that this lap, next lap, Spaghetti Mafia will be on the podium. So that's something. Now, the biggest loser for now from the top is WasserSchwein, who lost 3 position, has a 3 seconds penalty, and it's he has a hard time keeping up for now.
Absolutely.
And also Crash, look at Crash, minus 10 positions. But he pitted, I think, yeah, so he has fresh mediums. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be able to stretch those mediums to the end. He'll have to do 28 laps on a single set of mediums, which I'm not thinking is going to be doable personally. So it'll be interesting to see what Crash throws through. As we watch, JohnMeister, I believe, just took a major spin. Or no, he went into the pit. Sorry, I thought he was on a different part of the track. Looking around here, very competitive battles, early days. Lap 4 of 32 here in this Emilia GP. And it's this front midfield that's really showing strong fighting as we watch WasserSchwein, who seemed to have found his pace with a purple first sector as he is trying to chase down Spaghetti Mafia up into P3.
Yeah, that's right. I'm on board with WasserSchwein right now, and he has 2 10s, now 3 to Spaghetti Mafia. They now go into turn 11, turn 12, Aqua Minerale, and they both go through it pretty well. Now Spaghetti Mafia stretched the gap a bit more. WasserSchwein and MBuciek behind both have penalties, which the top 3, they don't have any, so yeah, the podium guys have an advantage for now.
Absolutely. So I'm sure they're holding on to those penalties to try to serve under safety car. Looking around here, do we think WasserSchwein is CHOPPA at a 1:18, 2 seconds up on the fastest time? I think WasserSchwein is going to try to have a run here on Spaghetti Mafia as BIS 2000 has now DNF'd. I'm not for sure if he wrecked there. Looks like he's still going third sector, so I wonder if that's just connection issues or what happened as his car's pulled over to the side of the track. But looking here, WasserSchwein up into P3 as he passes Spaghetti Mafia. So WasserSchwein getting himself back up in the podium, but it's still early days, so it's a lot of things still to play for. I don't think that just because he's up here on lap 5, this is going to be guaranteed, and it's great battling early on. No safety cars yet, and great battles already beginning.
Yeah, that's right. I think BIS 2000 has a connection problem. That's what I see from the chat. Split 2 and Spaghetti Mafia now gets a little bit wide. Let's see if he will keep it up to the DRS zone. He will get the DRS. He's closing on WasserSchwein for now. And yeah, it's very... It goes up and down the delta. I can't really tell.
Absolutely. That's it looks like Spaghetti Mafia is having a good run through here. I don't think he'll get him on this lap, but I think Spaghetti Mafia is going to have DRS going through, which he does, which is going to help him hold a little bit. But it looks like WasserSchwein has a little bit better of a run through the straights, but Juri coming around and getting the pass done on MBuciek there in the DRS zone. So Juri
Yeah,
putting himself up into P5 here, but I don't think MBuciek is going to let that go very easily.
that's what we were talking about, the Haas driver's consistency. Not the best quali pace, but he's already up 6 positions, Juri Owsieńko, and he's going. Oh, what is happening?
Oh, I
They,
think connection issue again. Not for sure there, but that was a weird moment.
yeah, on my screen they went on top of each other. I don't know if it was the same on yours. Oh,
It did the
again,
same
they
thing.
touch.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's connection issues as our first safety
Yeah,
car
and
comes
safety
out.
car. Who was that? I think it was a Mercedes. It was
It looks like it was
Youngie's.
Tipove.
Oh, sorry, I
Oh,
didn't
you're
catch it.
no, you're fine. And then Tipove, it looks like he lost it there through the first chicane. I'm not for sure. As we see Juri just spun there in the third sector. We'll see what pit strategy comes out of this. It looks like Kushor's already dove into the pits. I didn't see exactly what happened with Tipove, but it'll be interesting to see what happens there. All drivers are going into the pits here. AlphaTauri is double stacking.
FISHU stays out and he is P1 for now, but he still has to pit. Let's remember that. Yeah, but in the back, everyone is jumping into the pits.
Absolutely. Spaghetti Mafia going onto a fresh set of mediums. MBuciek going onto a fresh set of hard tires. But it looks like most people are trying to opt for mediums. Welliks going onto a fresh set of softs. And then Youngies and Kushor back in the back of the field going on a fresh set of mediums. But FISHU and Juri deciding not to pit yet. I wonder if they're betting on another safety car at this moment.
Yeah. The soft change, it was from Welliks, right? I think, yeah.
Yep.
This is interesting. I have to see, because one driver was on mediums, but I don't think it was Welliks. Let me see.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think it was
he
either, but I
still
can't
has to
remember.
change for a different compound, so. But it's too early for mediums lasting till the end, so he either would have to put hard tires on, or yeah, stop 2 times more. So I think it isn't too bad that he put another softs on.
Absolutely. Just kind of looking through the field, we talked about pit strategy can make or break it. I don't like the strategy FISHU and Juri are finding themselves on soft tires. I know the softs are going to get an extra couple laps here under safety car to kind of reset and they can save some, but you're going to have CHOPPA and WasserSchwein and CHOPPA and MBuciek behind them on fresh tires, and I'm not sure what the game plan is here for them.
Now Radosław Kempa and Buciek both get 5 seconds for collision under safety car. I don't know if they'll cancel it because it was just a incident,
Mm-hmm.
but for now they have this penalty, so it doesn't look too good for them.
Absolutely. And for those of you new to FRL or not as familiar with FRL, the penalties are reviewed after the race. So if you get like an unfair penalty due to connection issues or something like that, that can be canceled out. What you see on track isn't necessarily always the final finishing position. If something crazy happens, drivers can be disqualified. You can get time penalties. It all varies depending on exactly what's going on. So it can change going through. After everything. Only drivers that haven't stopped are FISHU and Juri. Everybody else has at least one stop except for Kushor, who has two, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, he's a
So,
lap down. Also, he's last and lap down. That is
oh,
not ideal.
that is unfortunate for him.
Yeah, I think it's the last lap under the safety car. We'll have a restart now.
Believe so. We'll see exactly what happens as they come around. It looks like safety car lights are still on. They'll usually go out going into sector 3, so it'll either be this lap or one more lap. Who knows what the FIA are thinking? I don't.
Yeah, it's in this lap.
Awesome. So they'll come around, and that means FISHU gets to take control of the field here. Coming through third sector, you can see lots of swerving to warm up his tires. Is he going to get a jump on Juri, or is Juri going to be able to keep up and predict when FISHU decides to dive around? Coming around here, final two corners. Not leaving as much room to the safety car as I thought he would. And FISHU tries to jump it, but I think Juri was already predicting it, so that means we are going to be back underway here on lap 9 of the Imola GP. Looking here, Fury has a great run going in the first sector. For chicane, Juri only... Oh, commentator curse.
Juri Owsieńko, that's bad to see from the Haas driver.
He's lucky he only got out of there with wing damage.
Now I see Spaghetti Mafia going on the inside of turn 6. MBuciek is behind Spaghetti Mafia. Just jumped him. So yeah, Spaghetti Mafia is climbing back to the top.
Absolutely. I think if Spaghetti Mafia can keep his pace together and keep a little bit of consistency and not over push, the odds of him being on the podium are extremely high coming into this race.
That's right. MBuciek is also on the hard tires, so he has a harder time than some of the medium runners for now. But then it might pay off for him because he doesn't have to pit anymore.
Absolutely. It looks like CHOPPA finally gets past FISHU. FISHU, of course, on the older soft compound tires compared to CHOPPA on a fresh set of mediums. So that pass was predicted, but going through, that puts FISHU into P2. And then WasserSchwein in P3, a half second back here, as we have a lapped car between them that shouldn't be too much of a problem for them to deal with. WasserSchwein gets really loose coming out of that first chicane. Looking back, it looks like Gamer and Juri both had spins into turn 12 on that last lap, but nothing too crazy. They keep it together, and it looks like Crash's teammate Youngies has also spun there in the first chicane, but Spaghetti Mafia and Kepa are fighting it out here. I thought Spaghetti Mafia had a run for a second, but it looks like he didn't. Now half a second back on Kepa, and WasserSchwein has a half second gap on FISHU. So it's all still to play for here on lap 10 with 22 laps to go.
Yeah, I also look now at the penalties, and what I see, CHOPPA has 5 seconds, WasserSchwein 3, then Radosław Kempa has 5. Spaghetti Mafia doesn't have any, also FISHU, so the two McLaren drivers very clean performance from them. Now JohnMeister and MBuciek, they were fighting. Now JohnMeister is past MBuciek. They both get 3 seconds, JohnMeister and MBuciek. Then Welliks and Vixie also 3 seconds, and Youngis P12 also 3 seconds.
Looks like Buciek going into the pits here, only on 2-lap-old hards. I wonder if he got some wing damage there from his battle with JohnMeister. We'll see what he's going into, but looking around the field here, it looks like WasserSchwein only has a no gap here, and he is battling it out here, and Kepa is right behind him. This battle is very strong. It looks like Kepa there in P4 might have had a little bit of contact with the back of WasserSchwein, and he sure does now. If his wing isn't gone, it was now, so it looks like major wing damage there for Kepa as he goes through. WasserSchwein right on the tail of FISHU going around. He is pushing really hard. Kepa is about to become victim to Spaghetti Mafia back in the back, and he sure does there. When you have no wing, it is very hard to defend, and JohnMeister dives up the inside of Kepa there as well, going into turn 12. Drivers keeping it clean going around, except for Kepa, who gets a little bit of a tap on the back of WasserSchwein, and it cost him big time. Yellow flag in sector 2. It looks like that is Crash, who has become the next victim of that turn 12 chicane. Going through here, it looks like WasserSchwein and Spaghetti Mafia trying really hard to gain on FISHU here. Of course, FISHU is going to play a major team game here and trying to back up WasserSchwein, but WasserSchwein's going to dive it around the left side here, and that is going to be his pass done.
Let's see if FISHU, yeah, he goes out of the way for Spaghetti Mafia so he can go chase WasserSchwein. Let's see how they will go.
Absolutely, playing the ultimate team strategy here, and it looks like FISHU also let JohnMeister go through as well, as he knows the tire advantage is there, so there's no point in battling it out. As WasserSchwein for a split second had a purple sector 1, but I believe that Spaghetti Mafia behind him took that away just right at the very end. As Spaghetti Mafia only 4/10 of a second back on WasserSchwein, gaining as fast as he can to try to go through, because Spaghetti Mafia wants to get up into the position as WasserSchwein's pushing so hard. He's taking track limit penalties to try to build more of a gap here on Spaghetti Mafia.
Now, I don't think this is the most clever thing to do, because uh, you get 6 seconds and you can't really pull more than 3, even if you're very fast, like faster than Spaghetti Mafia. The interval is, let me see, sorry, 1 second between them, and WasserSchwein has 6 seconds, while Spaghetti Mafia only has 0, so it's not very clever if it's for purpose.
Absolutely. I don't know if maybe WasserSchwein is just pushing a little bit harder than he needs to try to build a gap, and it's just making some mistakes here. JohnMeister right on the rear end of Spaghetti Mafia, so Spaghetti Mafia really needs to open some pace up here, as JohnMeister is trying to have a peek around the inside, but doesn't do it in this occasion. He's still looking, though, and he's still right on the rear wing here of Spaghetti Mafia, and you can see it's a tight battle for second place at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just speechless. It's very hard to not talk while you're watching such an exciting battle. We have three-way here. WasserSchwein, Spaghetti Mafia, and JohnMeister.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
JohnMeister gets a little bit wide there, and I think Spaghetti Mafia got a little bit loose coming through turn 12. JohnMeister's still trying to decide how he wants to make this pass. Spaghetti Mafia still holding on. Better exits out of corners is the one thing I'm noticing with Spaghetti Mafia as he goes through, and it's really nice to see. Even though JohnMeister is getting a great dive in, Spaghetti Mafia is getting the run out of the corner, which is opening everything up and preventing JohnMeister from getting a pass done. And we're going to have a double or a DRS train here. So it looks like if Spaghetti Mafia can make this pass on WasserSchwein, then that means JohnMeister might follow him around. As Spaghetti Mafia gets through with nothing, and JohnMeister dives a little bit out into the grass as WasserSchwein defends the position hard, and WasserSchwein holds on to his P3. Spaghetti Mafia now gets to open up pace and try to chase down CHOPPA with a 6.2 second gap, but JohnMeister still right behind WasserSchwein. Is he going to be able to make a pass here? I don't. JohnMeister can't do it in this occasion, and WasserSchwein gets a great run out of the corner. It's amazing racing here on lap 14 of 32.
Wow, that was exciting, to say the least. Now, what I'm seeing actually from the more technical side of things, JohnMeister and WasserSchwein both have very little ERS, sorry, and Spaghetti Mafia has 40%, which is 30% more than JohnMeister and WasserSchwein. So that is an advantage that Spaghetti Mafia has. He can burn it a bit more and stay ahead. Let's see how he'll do. Now he needs a good exit from the final corner so he can just drive away. DRS is very, very OP on this track. You can gain more than half a second with it. Yeah, that's what WasserSchwein will do. He'll get past.
And WasserSchwein, they're side by side going through, and it looks like Spaghetti's going to defend hard. They might have touched. I didn't catch it there, but it looks like that is going to be WasserSchwein around and out, a victim of the first chicane in a tight battle with Spaghetti Mafia. I don't believe there was contact. I think WasserSchwein just got a little too far to the right there, and the curb brought him right around. So
now look, Senor Piotras, this is something to look for. Plus 8 positions. Gained 8 positions gained, and he's P5 for now. Very, very good performance.
And he's on hard, so I don't think he'll have to stop again in this race.
He also has only 3 seconds, so the minimum penalty you can get here. While WasserSchwein has 6 already, so this is exciting.
Running away with it here. Lap 15 of 32, nearly halfway through the race, and the consistency of the Haas drivers is starting to show. Even though Juri is down in P15 after some bad luck on his end, getting caught up in turn 12 a couple of times, he's still P5 going through. It is great. I am loving this. So, Spaghetti Mafia has 8 seconds to make up. CHOPPA is just opening this gap. It's amazing to watch. We're missing a battle here. DRS open. JohnMeister gets past Spaghetti Mafia, and that is P2 sorted for now. I'm sure next lap coming around, though, JohnMeister and Spaghetti Mafia are going to have a little bit to say about that there, and that will be another tight battle to watch in a lap's time.
Yeah, this is with the split two drivers. You can see the battles always there, something to watch. It's not like real F1 when it gets sometimes pretty boring. You don't have to watch. Yeah, like you don't have to watch even the race. You can just watch the highlights. You have 10 minutes, and here you have the whole race. Very exciting, holding you in your seat, or maybe even sometimes you can stand and feel feel the pressure. Spaghetti Mafia 8 tenths behind JohnMeister. Now let's see if he'll gain. In this chicane you can gain everything here or lose everything. You can have 3 seconds more added to your time. But Spaghetti Mafia keeps it clean. Let's see.
Absolutely. Spaghetti is trying so hard to chase down JohnMeister, and it looks like he should have DRS here coming through, but he's got nearly a second gap JohnMeister has. I believe JohnMeister, though, conserving his DRS here as he's out, and Spaghetti is deploying everything he can to try to get closer and closer going into the first chicane. Gap down to half a second. Not close enough on this occasion.
Yeah, another example of ERS usage. JohnMeister has now only 5%, while Spaghetti Mafia conserves it a bit more, 40% on him, so he can really use it now and overtake JohnMeister in the next lap. I think if he'll keep it here very, very tidy, like he does. But for now, JohnMeister is actually pulling away from Spaghetti Mafia.
Absolutely,
This is,
which
yeah.
8.5 seconds to P1 at Crash. We're gonna jump on board with him for a second because I just want to see how consistent he is. He's just cruising at this point, which is crazy to watch. 8.8 second gap, and he is just cruising. We're on board with him now. Just pretty as you please. Doesn't care.
Yeah. He has a 16 seconds gap, right, to P6. Yes, he has only 7 tenths to Oski, and then he has almost 17 seconds to the Senor Piotras, who is P6 has, and yeah, he's cruising. He's enjoying the race. He has one penalty only. Let's see how he'll do. Behind him, Gamer, clean, no penalties, and the Alpha Romeo
Absolutely.
pushing hard. I think he's not very conserved. Yeah, he's going over the curbs aggressively, but he has a lot of ERS to use. He's not deploying it, which is strange.
For sure. And it looks like they're on the straightaway. WasserSchwein and Vixie inverted positions to try to give WasserSchwein the advantage to try to chase down Spaghetti Mafia, but a 10-second gap between the two drivers. So that's a tall ask here to see exactly what happens. Gaps. Do we think CHOPPA has to pit again? I know JohnMeister is going to have to pit again. Do we think CHOPPA is going to have to pit?
CHOPPA is definitely gonna pit once more because he has this already. Let me see. 10 laps old mediums. They won't last till the end. I mean, they could, but he would really have to slow down and conserve. He has the gap to do it. Let's see if he will do it. He's an aggressive driver. I raced with him once in a team,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in a team radio with him in Jeddah. And he is aggressive. He is aggressive, but very fast. Let's see how he'll do with the tire life.
Absolutely. Looking at pace here, I know JohnMeister is going to have to pit again as he's on soft tires, but if CHOPPA were to pit right now, he'd come out P5, P6, somewhere in
Yeah,
there.
with pace advantage and fresh tires, so he'll very easily go higher. But I think everyone will have to pit once more, except maybe for Senor Piotras. I really don't know. And Oski already pitted, so he is good till the end. He has 0 laps old mediums.
Absolutely. It looks like Vixie and WasserSchwein have inverted again as Senor is right there on the tail of WasserSchwein. So this will be a strong battle to watch as they come through the middle sector here, going out of turn 12. It looks like WasserSchwein is just struggling with track limits today, unfortunately for him. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just a car setup challenge, but he is really struggling with track limits, and it's kind of weird to watch from WasserSchwein.
Yeah, what I also see, Senor is really like conserve on his car because he's not going over the yellow curbs in the final chicane. Uh, and yeah, he's very conserved. He's driving. Oh, he now left the session. Maybe a connection issue, but when he was driving, he was measured, driving at his own pace, driving his own race.
Absolutely, which is instrumental for finishing this race. The gaps have really opened up throughout the field at this point, so it looks like things have really calmed down. The closest thing is Vixie and WasserSchwein, and I'm sure they're just trying to tow each other closer to Spaghetti Mafia. 11 seconds, almost 12, the gap now between fourth place and third place, so it looks like as far as things are going, it's really close at this point. Looking at penalties here, if I can get things to cycle right. Choppa does have 5 seconds in penalty, but even then, JohnMeister has 3, so that gap is there. If Spaghetti can hold on, Spaghetti can finish P2 in this race because he has no penalties. Vixie and Voss both have 6 seconds, so that kind of negates itself out. Senor has 3 seconds. Buciek with 9 seconds, though. I don't know where his penalties came from.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. Corner cutting, three penalties for corner cutting. That makes 9 seconds.
Wow.
It's very unlucky for him. Now, hypothetically speaking, maybe if a safety car would come out now or in a few laps, the top runners will all pit. That's my prediction because their tires are dying right now. Maybe
Hmm.
some of them. They slowed a lot, like Spaghetti Mafia, for example. He's not pushing that hard. He tries to conserve the tires, but maybe someone will spin because someone will try to push too hard, and then all of the top runners will pit, and the situation might change very rapidly.
Absolutely.
It will be close. Yeah.
I'm a little nervous for Crash on 17 lap all mediums here. Could be, unfortunately, he could be the one to watch here for causing a safety car. And looking through JohnMeister on 13 lap old softs, there's no way he carries those softs to the end. So I think at this point he's just trying to play damage control and try to see what he can do to see a safety car as he actually boxes here in. So he is going to have to give up position. But Spaghetti Mafia comes in right behind him. So this is going to open up Vixie and WasserSchwein to take over P2 and P3, I believe. Spaghetti Mafia goes on a fresh set of softs, and JohnMeister has to go into mediums. We'll see
Very
how far
interesting.
back they come out here from the Aston Martins of Vixie and Wasser.
From my experience and also what JJ told me, softs last around 15 laps here. We have 11 or even 10 till the end, so Spaghetti Mafia might be able to push very hard on the softs right now, just to use them.
Absolutely. It looks like JohnMeister got lucky and came out in front of Senor, but it looks like Spaghetti Mafia got a little unlucky there and came out behind Senor. So he is going to have an additional car to pass in order to try to catch that gap up on WasserSchwein and Vixie to get that pass done. So we'll see how this unfolds in the end stages. The gap is pretty big, but with 9 laps to go, it's not unattainable on a
Yeah,
fresh set
also
of tires.
in the back of my head, I have this penalties uh, that these drivers have. JohnMeister 3 seconds, and now Spaghetti Mafia is right behind him. So if he will keep up with JohnMeister and keep within 3 seconds, he will have that P4. Also, WasserSchwein and Vixie have 9 seconds, so this is a big penalty.
Absolutely, and
I'm excited to see how it will go.
it looks like CHOPPA has a 29-second gap now on Vixie, so CHOPPA is just running away with this race with literally nothing to worry about here. WasserSchwein into the pits now, going onto a fresh set of softs.
14 seconds for him. He was spinning in the pit lane. That's unlucky.
Uh, we'll see here. Spaghetti Mafia has 2 seconds to make up on JohnMeister to try to get a pass. He is on the preferred tire compound for it, but he's going to have to make this happen very, very quickly. WasserSchwein coming out into P11 behind Welliks, so P10 behind Welliks, sorry. So that is unfortunate for WasserSchwein in terms of strategy and everything, just drawing the unlucky card here. And we talked about strategy was going to be one of the key points that kind of would make or break some people's races. And it looks like, unfortunately, it's breaking more than it's making at the moment.
Yeah, also Vixie has 30 seconds to JohnMeister, which I don't think... Is it correct?
Uh,
No, I think it's a bug. Oh no, he
Vic,
has 30 seconds to CHOPPA, sorry.
yep,
He has now 5 seconds. He is diving into the pits for, I believe, softs. Yeah, softs. So now Spaghetti Mafia and JohnMeister are both on the podium battling for P2. Right behind them is now Crash that got past Senor Piotras with the DRS assist.
absolutely.
Assistance, very nicely done. Senor Piotras has driver P5 for now. He's battling for P4, so excited to see how this goes.
For sure, and Spaghetti Mafia sets a fastest lap with a 117 here, coming around with 8 laps to go. I have been told that there is some rain predicted for the end, so that could mix everything up with just a few laps to go. This could turn into a Spain from last season, so that'll be exciting to watch and see how everything plays out for these final 7 laps. Going through turn 12 here with Spaghetti Mafia. Really clean going through 1.9 seconds the gap now for him and JohnMeister. But can he catch up to him here before the end of the race? 7 laps to go, making up 2 seconds. It should be doable, especially on that preferred tire. But JohnMeister just seems to have some major pace.
Yeah, that's right. They are equal on ERS right now, so no more advantage that Spaghetti Mafia had the whole race up until this point, and he has better exit. He gains some time, but now JohnMeister is burning the ERS. Let's see.
Absolutely going through here. Crash is now diving into the pits on those 20 lap mediums. I'm curious to see if anybody can take away the fastest lap from Spaghetti Mafia or if he's set it just in time. Crash is going onto another set of medium tires, it looks like. Going through here, fastest lap from WasserSchwein, who's put himself back into P8, now into P7 since crashes in the pits going around. So Vixie and WasserSchwein back up P6, P7, and it looks like they're just going to kind of hold their own at the moment with just a few laps to go. Spaghetti Mafia.
You have to keep in mind the 14 seconds that WasserSchwein has, unfortunately. That's the mood breaker for him for now.
Absolutely.
Unlucky.
Absolutely. Only drivers that don't have penalties currently is Juri, Spaghetti Mafia, and Gamer. As we see FISHU and Senor battling it out here. FISHU getting around. No, sorry. Senor is ahead. It looks like connection issues coming in. Unfortunately, again, welcome to F1 2021. If you're new to the game, this is what happens sometimes. I love this game.
So now Senor back up to the P4. Very, very nicely done. That's what we were talking about this whole time. Has drivers, very, very consistent. Just safe racing, not pushing too hard, but it pays off in split 2. Very, very nicely done from him.
For sure. Really clean racing coming through from all these drivers. It's been everyone's I can't tell if everyone's been a little conservative or if it's just been that this is how the race has been, but just a few more laps left here and as far as things look, it seems like things might be settling in here for the final finish.
That's right, but I'm still watching the top 3, second and third, Spaghetti Mafia and JohnMeister. Will Spaghetti Mafia find the pace to keep up with JohnMeister with this within 3 seconds? That's the big question, because that's the battle for second place. Few more points to gain. That's a lot. That's an advantage. let's see how to play off. I'm very, very excited to see what will happen.
Absolutely. And for Spaghetti Mafia, again, fan favorite always, but with two DNFs so far this season and two races, Spaghetti Mafia needs to pull something out of the hat here to really cement himself up into the Drivers' Championship and help McLaren get off of last place in the Constructors' Championship, which him and FISHU are having a great race so far. P5 for his teammate here, and it's very, very strong looking between the two of them as we see FISHU trying to have a little bit of a run here on Senor, but not close enough in that occasion to make it happen. But with just 5 laps to go, he could make this pass happen in the last 5 laps.
I'm on board with Spaghetti Mafia. Maybe that's not the best idea. The commentator curse is here, but he just got a bit wide in turn 6. That's what I was talking about in the beginning. And now the gap is very, very close to 3 seconds. So this might be, you know, the last drop in the. I don't know how what's the expression in English, so I won't continue it. But you know, the final grain and something. Do you know the
Yeah,
expression?
I think I know what you're going for, but I can't think of it. As Owskie spins out here in the first sector, and that is unfortunately for the Alfa Romeo driver, that is going to drop him pretty far back here, down into P14 now, and he could lose out a little bit more potentially if he took damage. I wasn't able to tell at that moment, but it looks like FISHU and Senor coming around here. 1.1 second the gap, and Youngies, I believe. Crasher Youngies 1 are the next victim to turn 12. I didn't get to see who it was here, but we're on board with Senor and FISHU. FISHU with a 1.2 second gap didn't get DRS on this lap, so that cements through lap 28 of 32. And it looks like some of these final pushes are starting to catch drivers out. It was Crash that spun there in turn 12.
Yeah, also the penalties. FISHU has 3 seconds more of penalties than Senor. So if Senor doesn't get any more, he's safe in P4 for now. Let's see how he'll do. And Spaghetti Mafia pushing really, really hard now. I'm on board with him. 2.4 seconds the gap is to JohnMeister. So he's pushing hard.
Absolutely, but it looks like he's lost the best life in his tires, so this could be cemented in for Spaghetti. If he can hold this gap, it's still P2 for him, but if JohnMeister can get any sort of a run going through, it is all she wrote in for him. Looking here, we're going to check in with CHOPPA really quick. 21 lap old mediums, lap 29 of 32. Sky's starting to get a little gray, so just a few laps left, but I don't know how weather's going to play here. At this
It's
point, if
getting dark.
drivers may just risk it.
Yeah, that's true. It's too late, I think, for a change. It didn't even start raining yet, so yeah, I think everyone will just stay out. But it's getting dark and it will get slippery if it starts raining, so that might be interesting.
Absolutely, but CHOPPA does have the 30-second gap, so he could find himself in a good position if he doesn't stop. So he could catch himself with the advantage in order to hold on to this win, regardless of what he does. He could pit right now for a fresh set of tires. He has that pit stop gap at the moment where if he wanted to pit and go for a fastest lap, he could.
That's right, but yeah, go on.
Amazing driving from CHOPPA, who's a reserve driver, I think is the biggest thing to point out. CHOPPA's not even like one of our main drivers, he's a reserve. So amazing driving to see from him so far.
Oh, and it's raining now, so it's getting slippery. In this game, it gets slippery very fast, so that's something to look out for. For these 2 final laps, it will be hard to keep the car on the track.
Absolutely. Looking here, it looks like FISHU and Senor battling it out here. Going
For FISHU.
main straight, FISHU going around, and it looks like that is that for FISHU. FISHU up into P4 now, so we'll see here with last 2 laps. Again, it's starting to rain, so there's no telling what's going to happen.
That's right. FISHU has these 3 seconds more than Senor Piotras of penalties, so Senor is still in P4 for now. Spaghetti Mafia is closer to JohnMeister now, only less than 2 seconds. So he might be safe actually. He also has a softer compound of tire, which is easier in the rain, just because he can keep the temperature higher.
Absolutely. So that might play to his advantage here, but a couple laps left. There is no way to know, and as we know with FRL, it's never over until it's over. So coming around lap 31 of 32 here, and the gaps are maintaining really well. I can't tell if the track's getting slippery yet. It doesn't appear to be at the moment.
No, maybe a bit, but not yet. It's not wet because the DRS is on, first of all. Second of all, these drivers are, yeah, keeping it on the track, so that's good. Final 2 laps now.
Coming around here, Spaghetti Mafia and JohnMeister still the battle to watch, and 2 seconds the gap here. It keeps fluctuating, but it looks like Spaghetti Mafia may be able to hold on close enough to hold on to P2 on the scoreboard, even though on track he's going to be P3. Again, those penalties are going to take major problems for some people. CHOPPA coming around and starting the final lap, but you can see JohnMeister and Spaghetti Mafia just now coming through. Turn 12, the amount of just pace that CHOPPA has shown and the amount of consistency he's shown, it's something else. I mean, you have to comment on it because it's crazy. 32 seconds the gap that he's built up here.
Yeah, absolutely true. 32 seconds to be exact. It's wow. He deserves split one.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely, and I'm sure he'll end up getting promoted at some point. No way to know for sure when, but I am sure that with drives like this, CHOPPA can submit himself into a strong position for next season. As he comes around, you can see the track getting damp, but I think the weather's going to prove too little too late to really affect anyone. I may speak too soon, but we're going to find out here. As he comes through turn 12, everything's still clean. Going around into the start of the third sector, CHOPPA, a dominating performance this race, showing that he is an extremely strong driver, doing very, very well behind him. You can see one of the Mercedes getting really loose, but CHOPPA playing it conservative, playing the long game, and playing the pit strategy with a 32.5-second gap as he comes around the final 2 corners. CHOPPA, reserve driver, first race in FRL, he is going to submit himself in for the win, and that means that CHOPPA, as DRS is disabled because the track is too wet, but it doesn't matter. Final lap, CHOPPA comes across with a 32.5-second gap to win round 3 here in split 2 of FRL. JohnMeister and Spaghetti Mafia coming around the final chicane as they get ready for the final couple of corners, and Spaghetti Mafia down to 0.3 of a gap, so it looks like that tire advantage we talked about is paying off as JohnMeister and this wet track are not playing well together. Can Spaghetti Mafia get a run in the final corner here? Coming around, it looks like he's not going to be close enough, so JohnMeister just barely holding on to P2 on track, but that means Spaghetti Mafia jumps up to P2 on the standings after penalties are served.
Very well done for the podium drivers, very well done to CHOPPA. That's very impressive. Spaghetti Mafia finally gets his podium, and JohnMeister extending the lead in the championship for now.
Absolutely. Look at FISHU coming around there in the final corners. You can tell how slippery the track is now as drivers are sliding around. It looks like Senor and WasserSchwein are going to have a drag race here to the line, and WasserSchwein is going to be the one to cross first, but Senor, with penalties, is still able to finish up P5. This is proving to be crazy here for these final couple of laps. Vixie coming around, and CHOPPA and MBuciek are battling here. I mean, I know I said the rain was a little too late, but like the final couple of corners, it snapping in now is just insane.
Well done to all the drivers. Very exciting race to commentate and to watch. Thank you all. Very nice race.
Absolutely. Great commentary from you. Senor getting driver of the day as deserved. We talked about Haas. Again, qualifying pace isn't the greatest, but the race pace is impressive. As we look at our podium here, Crash, again, what a dominating performance. Spaghetti Mafia up into P2, and then a Williams on the podium in P3. Great runs from them. Congratulations to all of these drivers going through. And again, Senor, driver of the day. Great to see. Frydrek, what's your final views on the race here? Anything crazy that you'll take into your race here in split 1?
Yeah, I will try to be conserve. Just save my tires, be measured, and this is a marathon, not a split. Got to be measured. Thank you very much. I'm now going because I have to prepare for my own race.
Absolutely. Go ahead and jump off and get ready for your race, and then we will see you on track here in just about 10 minutes' time.
Yeah, thanks, Brett. It was a very nice experience.
Thank you. We'll see you on track.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. So, that is going to be your two here. And that was, I think, a fun split two. CHOPPA and Spaghetti Mafia P2, JohnMeister up into P3, P4, Senor and P5. I mean, coming in from two, and it's not over. We've got split one to go, and split one is going to be some real carnage. So stay tuned. We're going to restart the stream here, get split one ready to go, and then as soon as split one is running, we'll jump in and we'll get everything. Don't go anywhere. More FRL getting ready to come your way.